Well, here I am
Uh,
with Joshua Kennedy. Joshua Kennedy runs the business club Cote d'Azur. Have I got that right, Joshua?
Absolutely. You have got that right, Mike.
It's a novelty to have a name like Kennedy that I could actually pronounce. Normally, I get
Very
something
good.
I stumble over. So
Yeah.
Joshua likes to be known as Josh. Do I take it Josh is fine?
Yeah, Josh is fine. That's much
Brilliant.
easier for a lot of people.
That's good because that's your signature on your email. I quite like that. It's very
It
friendly.
is.
Josh comes from the Netherlands and he settled here with his partner. Should we call? We'll call her a partner. That's a nice thing to do.
Sure.
And they have a young child. But let's hear from Josh. Tell us a bit how you came to be on the Riviera and why you decided to do what you're doing.
Yeah, so basically we moved in 2018, the near winter. So it was getting colder. Pretty good time for us to move because in the Netherlands it's always raining. And here it's pretty good, even in winter. But basically, we moved for a better quality of life. That was the main reason for us moving down to the French Riviera. We did not have any friends or professional network though, but we do have a family member living here, and it is Robin, her mom. So that was a big decision in our life, but important. I should say that important reason for her to move here because she missed her mom a lot.
Good
But happy
driver.
wife, happy life, right? So I'd followed along, I'd say.
So what? So you're living down here. Whereabouts do you live on the Riviera?
I live in Vence. Do you know that?
I know Vence very well. I like Vence. You're very close to Tourette, and
Absolutely.
it's great scenery up there. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
St. Paul's
it is
particularly.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very busy. A lot of tourists, I must admit. But in Vence, you kind of have that, but it's a lot more quiet, and we quite enjoy it here. Yeah.
But it's an international community there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think on the entire French Riviera, isn't it?
Well, it is, but particularly Vence. I find it an engaging town because it's
Yeah.
small enough that. Do you find that you can get to know people quite easily, or
Well, we have tried. Well, coming from the Netherlands, we did have some French lessons on school, but it was definitely not on a level or at a level where you can consider yourself speaking French. So when we came here, it was like someone is, well, we did not know what they were saying to us. We did not understand a word of French at all. So we really had difficulties meeting people here as that is quite it is quite difficult if you do not speak the language. Even though there is an international community, we had difficulties finding it
uh,
and especially connecting with it. Yeah, so that was a big reason for us to start doing what we do right now.
well, I think that's a good sign that we should talk about what you're doing right
Yeah,
now, why you've started it, and what you intend to do. So,
yeah.
give us a
Gave you the
history lesson.
opportunity to ask that question there. So
A history lesson, please. Tell us about the idea and how you've built on the idea.
yeah. So thank you. For when we moved here, that was 2018. We obviously did some sightseeing here, visited all the fancy places and things that you must do and must see when you move to the French Riviera, of course. But you quickly realize that you definitely can easily feel lonely here, and that is just something. It's an awful feeling, and I don't wish anyone that. So for us, we were looking into opportunities to get in touch with people. We organized some, or we attended some events and spoke with some different people. But we are relatively young, and we are used to a certain way of networking and doing things. So we were kind of inspired to give it our own touch and feel. Not saying that the other clubs or the other things are not good. It's very good, but we were missing something that we could not really find. So we decided to give it a go and organize an event. I mean, you need to start somewhere. So we organized a very small event with some people that we met in the meantime, and it was in Cote, a very lovely place. It was recently completely renovated. Highly recommend going there, by the way. It's called Le Cabanon, and it's a beautiful scenery. Do you know that place? Or?
No, I don't. I've heard of it though.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. But anyways, we did it for that was our first event, and we had 10, 15 people. So that was pretty good for a first event, and definitely served its purpose for us. And then we started talking with those people that attended the event and asked them, what do you feel was missing in this region, or what would you like to see, or did you enjoy this type of atmosphere? And we got a very positive feedback on that. And even though it was some people that we already met, we did not know a lot of people, but the majority, still, it was only 15 people roughly, but the majority of those 15 people were people we've never met before, never spoken to. So that was quite a success in our opinion. And it kind of took off really quickly from there because we just kept on organizing the events, and more people started attending. So I think it was our fourth or fifth meeting, and that one was in Cannes, and over 50 or 60 people attended the event. So that
That's
yeah, we got very happy with that.
absolutely happy. You must have been ecstatic with that. That's
Absolutely,
excellent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when we kind of realized, all right, this is something that we could really develop and yeah,
So, what is the
keep on
spread of
doing.
nationalities?
Well, literally from all over the world. It's we connect English speakers on the French Riviera,
Hmm.
but that does not mean that they have to be from the UK or Scotland or whatsoever. So we have people from Norway, from Germany, from the States, from the Netherlands, France, and from the African continent. You name it. We literally have people from everywhere. Yeah,
So, a real spread of international people, and
yeah, absolutely.
including those weird people called the French.
Your
So,
words, Mike.
my words, yes, I get the blame for it. Yeah, thank you. The talking about France and settling in France, is this a big deal as far as your club is concerned? Trying to integrate people into France and how France works on a business basis. Is this something that behind your club and the idea?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we initially started with the idea that it was going to be entirely business networking, hence the name Business Club. But we quickly realized as well that it's more about connecting people and bringing people together, because it's very difficult to be from a different country, from a foreign country where you do not speak the language yet. And so, yes, we really focus on that aspect, and simultaneously we like to help them with settling in and helping sorting things out, because it can be difficult even for French people, and we do have a lot of French members as well, and they
Yeah.
say the same thing. Yeah.
You know,
No, but they do
I know
say
people who come from Paris and they find it so difficult to actually integrate themselves into what is
absolutely.
effectively their own society. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but it's a completely different region, and they say something like the south is just the south, so that's something completely different. So even French people have a lot of difficulties connecting with the local south of France people,
Yeah.
and yeah, that does not make it easy.
So where do you see taking the club? What's your next step?
Yeah, so our next step is expanding territories. So now we mainly do the events in Monaco, Nice, and Cannes, but we see that the biggest problem areas are in the smaller villages, and such as well, it's not a small village, but smaller definitely, like Le Barcelou or Vence, or places that more in the backcountry.
So
also
what are
trying
the
to include.
difficulties? What are the difficulties people are experiencing? Is it simply being on their own without having any resources?
Yeah, for a lot of people it is, yes. And if you live in Nice, for example, there's a lot of things that you can do in Nice by just going out. A lot of people live the city life there, so that's completely different than living in a smaller village up in the I should say that, up in the mountains.
Yeah.
So there is not many things that you can do when you live in such a small village. So it makes it a lot more difficult to go out and meet people or participate in certain activities. So
So
that's
do
what
you,
I.
yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was interrupting you. No, it's just, do you organize events in these villages, or do you find a core town nearby to attract people in from these villages? What's your approach?
Yeah, for now we are trying to find the next closest, biggest small village, so that it's still easy for them to attend an event that is nearby them. And that is the approach for now. So we are really now trying to increase the frequency, expand territory, and we'll take it from there.
It sounds great. I like the way you're growing it. You're growing a very interesting population, and I like the way it's just not business; it's social as well. One of the
Yeah,
difficulties I found with creating a business thing is that it's taken away by the social side. So keeping the
yeah.
focus must be quite difficult, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is quite difficult. It helps, and that's why we kept the name Business Club, because that kind of filters out the expectation that it's going to be a 100% social event. Yeah, it is a very thin line, but now we are organizing different type of events. So, for example, the meetups that we organize, those are more apero type of events. So there is alcohol involved.
Oh,
That creates a completely different atmosphere,
oh,
of
you've
course.
interested everybody already.
Absolutely. So we do those, and but people really love that concept. So we have taken that concept and organize a similar type of event in the mornings. But yeah, that changes the entire atmosphere. It makes it more suitable for business networking. So it's the small nuances and little touches and things that we do to not blur that line too much.
Well,
Yeah,
enough alcohol will blow that line easily.
absolutely. That's for sure.
Well, I congratulate you on starting this, and it's a new venture and it's a growing venture, and it's just very enthusiastic for you. Well, maybe one day I will attend one of these if I'm invited.
Yeah, that'd be great. You are invited, yes.
Very kind. So I think our time is up, and I really want to thank you, Josh. I really appreciate your time. And what we do now is we smile a lot while I end the recording.
Thank you so much,
Bye,
Mike, for
Josh.
having me on the interview. Have a good day.
Bye.